Really?
Fatality.
I say to this day, and I do it based on my reaction. Obviously, this is personal. I say it's the greatest knockout of all time. First time I ever stood up, I couldn't sit down. I was standing up. I was just like, oh!
I saw that. I saw you stand up. That's the first time I saw
It was just.
All right, listen. Before anybody jumps in the comments screaming, "It was fixed," or "It was entertainment," or "AJ cashed out," we gotta slow this down and really talk about what we just watched. Because that wasn't a normal fight, and it definitely wasn't a scripted moment either. That was reality catching up at heavyweight speed.
The last 6 rounds with AJ, in my opinion, he won 4 of them. People will argue that he at least won 3.
Because the whole narrative coming into this fight was hype, right?
Win against Anthony, but here I am with a broken jaw, learning the hard way. I'll heal, and I'll be back.
Influencer boxing, crossover energy, money talks. AJ's washed, Jake's improved. And people really convince themselves that boxing fundamentals don't matter when the guy across from you is 240 pounds of trained violence. And I kept saying it, heavyweight boxing is different. You don't play games there. You don't test theories. You don't see what happens. Because when it goes wrong, it doesn't go wrong a little. It goes wrong surgically.
Performance by Jake, brother. Getting in the ring, whatever I do. Josh was a monster. He stayed in it the whole time, and I'm really proud of Jake, dude. All my respect to him, bro. I'm never out. I mean, dude, he went 6.5 rounds with Anthony Johnson, the best in the world. So I got nothing.
And got up like 2 times. I mean, talk about that. I mean, there's been other heavyweights that have felt that right hand who haven't got up.
Ngannou, so many. Over and right, Jake's got a tough chin, dude. I think he knows whatever he wants after this. He just had such big balls. He had to keep moving. That was the only strategy. People are gonna say he ran around the rim. They don't know. They don't understand fucking boxing.
Showed a ton of heart, right? What's next for Jake Paul?
And that's what we saw. Anthony Joshua didn't rush, didn't chase the moment, didn't try to knock Jake Paul's head into the 3rd row in round 1. He fought this like a grown man who understands patience, like someone who knows that fitness and weight and experience always tell the truth eventually. Now let's be honest about something that people don't want to admit. Jake Paul surviving 6 rounds wasn't because he was competitive. It wasn't because he was winning exchanges. It wasn't because AJ struggled. It was because Jake ran a survival program from the opening bell. I'm talking constant movement, constant resets, dropping to a knee not because he was hurt, but because he needed air, clinching without engaging, turning the ring into a treadmill instead of a battlefield. And look, that's not an insult, that's awareness. Jake knew very early that standing in front of AJ was not an option, not even for 10 seconds. Every time AJ planted his feet, you could see Jake's instincts kick in like, nope, not today. And that's when this fight stopped being about winning and became about lasting. And here's where people miss the genius on AJ's side. Old AJ would have chased. Old AJ would have burned energy trying to end it early. Old AJ might have walked into something stupid, but this version of AJ stayed ice cold.
Really?
Fatality.
He let Jake move. He let him waste energy. He invested in the body. He cut the ring slowly. And he understood something very important. You can't run forever when you're carrying that kind of weight. By round 4, you could see it. Jake wasn't necessarily slower yet, but he was heavier. His legs weren't gone, but they were asking questions. And once your legs start asking questions, your brain starts making bad decisions. And that's when the illusion started cracking. AJ began catching him without forcing it, without reaching, without panic, just timing, just positioning, just letting Jake step into danger. And that's when you saw the confidence shift in real time. Because up until then, Jake still believed there was an escape route. After that, He was just hoping the door didn't close yet. And when he got dropped in round 5, that wasn't just a knockdown, that was information. That was Jake realizing this isn't a sparring session, this isn't content, this isn't something you laugh about on a podcast later. This is a man who can change your face if you make one mistake. And from that moment on, the fight was no longer negotiable. Now round 6, this is where everything people argued about online just died quietly. Because the shot AJ landed wasn't wild, it wasn't desperate, it wasn't lucky, it was textbook heavyweight mechanics. Feet set, hips through, shoulder behind it. And when that right hand landed, it didn't just knock Jake down, it disconnected him. You could see it instantly, eyes unfocused, body reacting before the brain caught up. That moment where someone isn't asleep, but they're not present either. That's what people mean when they say, another dimension. It's disorientation.
Get over here! Help!
And that's the most dangerous place to be in heavyweight boxing. And here's the part nobody can argue with. Broken jaw, not sore, not swollen, broken. In 2 places. Teeth displaced, moved, relocated inside his mouth.
Come full steam ahead 100 miles an hour, or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided.
You don't fake that. You don't script that. You don't agree to that. That's bone meeting force. And the moment those reports came out, the fix crowd disappeared. No debates, no breakdowns, no conspiracy threads, just silence. Because reality doesn't argue back. Now credit where it's due because this channel isn't biased. Jake Paul showed heart. He got up. He didn't quit. He didn't look for a way out. He tried to continue with a broken face. And that matters. That says something about his toughness. But toughness does not equal belonging. You can be brave and still be in the wrong weight class. You can be disciplined and still be outmatched. You can be successful and still hit a wall. And Jake himself said it, straight up. No excuses, just, I got a nice little ass whooping from one of the best to ever do it. And honestly, respect for that. Because this fight didn't just end a night, it ended an era. The era of influencer boxing testing elite heavyweights is done. Not because crossover boxing is dead, but because heavyweight boxing isn't content. It's consequence. And look at AJ's reaction after the fight. No YouTube callouts, no rematch talk, no circus energy. Straight to Tyson Fury, straight to legacy, straight to business. That's how you know where we're at now. So I'll leave you with this question and really think about it before you answer. After seeing what happens when real heavyweight power lands clean, after seeing the damage, after seeing the difference between hype and history, who still wants to see Jake Paul versus Canelo? Let me know. This is Quick Rundowns, and heavyweight boxing is back.